Hey, welcome to another Lunch with Jim and A.Ron. This is the ultra rare Monday edition. Looks like someone's got a case of the Monday lunches.
Never before seen Monday edition, I think.
We've done a Monday before. Maybe around the holidays. That's the other time our schedule got jacked up. This is my fault. It's entirely my fault. I'm going on vacation starting tomorrow. I'm not getting back till late Sunday night. Going to Beaver Island, Michigan. The Beaver Island Archipelago. The crown jewel of the Beaver Island Archipelago.
The island without doctors. The island without most.
It has nurses.
Public services.
It has nurses and some volunteer firemen. Hopefully, I won't need either.
Yeah, don't get severely injured there.
Yeah, that'd be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Lack of medical insurance in this country is no joke.
Although I hear that the doctors migrate there during certain times of the year.
Do they?
During the summer? That's what you said, right?
Oh, that's true. They're probably, because I imagine there are quite a few doctors on the island during the summer. Okay. It's just they're in their gated communities and won't come to.
You'll have to go knocking door to door. Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
I've ruptured my pelvis.
That's where I'm going. I'm pretty excited. I'm taking 2 kids, wilderness camping. I'm taking my son and one of his pseudo cousins. It's always weird talking about Cecily's family because we're not married.
Oh, is it Cecily's little brother?
Yeah.
Okay,
but it's kind of, and it's like I guess it's his uncle then. His fake uncle, his uncle in common law. I haven't quite figured out. Maybe I should just pop the question and get all this over with. It's just paperwork. It's just illegal. Just like in Jupiter Ascending, it's just all a bunch of paperwork you got to get done.
Well, now that gay marriage is legal, you're obliged to get gay married. So sorry to tell you that.
Well, I could. One of us would have to transition. Would Cecily make a better man, or would I make a better woman?
Just judging on your womanly qualities, I would say she'd make a better man.
I feel like that's insulting to her, though.
Is it?
I don't know.
What's wrong with being a man?
There's nothing wrong with being a man, but if you're a woman, that's the whole.
I don't. You'd have to lose the beard.
Well, that would be.
I don't know if the hormones would do that.
I
assume so.
The thing is like, ideally, if you want to transition and get like the body of the sex that you're going for naturally, you want to do it as early as possible. Like I'm kind of genetically set in my ways.
All right,
but I have been working on a nice set of boobs. So
impressive.
I'm kind of there. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been like nonstop hammer and tong. Like there's been so much preparation. I've been doing crazy modifications to my vehicle to get this stupid cargo rack mounted. It's like it cost me $100 to get the shit that I needed to mount it, and it just kept on like getting worse and worse.
Would you say the costs were mounting?
Yes, the costs were mounting. It's like, now I need this stupid tap to screw threads in, and that's going to be $15. And now you need this big ass drill bit from Craftsman, and it's $20. And it's like, Jesus, where's it in? And then Iron Banner. Any spare? I've been like staying up till 3 o'clock every night since like Thursday to try to get as much of the Iron Banner finished on Destiny as I can.
Why? What's the rush there?
It's 6 etheric light. It's a 1 week thing, and you have to get to like level 3 and level 5 to purchase the etheric light. The cool thing about the etheric light is it allows you to ascend any piece of armor and weapon to the current max values of the game. So like all the old, really cool like Atheon raid shit that was like almost worthless coming into this expansion, you can extended light it, and bam, now it's like maximum attack and defense values. So it's pretty cool.
All right.
And I got 5 last time. I'm trying to get all 6 of this, and then I don't know, maybe I can put Destiny on the shelf. I keep saying that every month.
It'll never
This
happen.
is the month where I put Destiny on the shelf.
No, see, they've got you locked into their release cycle.
But that's the thing. All I want to do is get enough to mothball it so I can maybe take August off and then be refreshed for the Taken King in September. It's all I want to do.
You can't, man, because the time frame is such that just as you're finishing up all your goals, they're releasing a new expansion.
Yeah,
you got to blitz through it at the beginning. Just crank through 100 hours of Destiny.
I know a lot of guys do. Like one of the biggest Destiny nuts I play with is a guy named Tony, and he hits it hard. Like when the House of Wolf came out, he was fucking on that thing for like 2 weeks straight. Got everything he needed. All of his characters level 34, and it's like, I don't even think I saw him on the Iron Banner this week. But I've been kind of reclusive too, because my time has been such with my kid that like I only have time for like a match or two. So instead of jumping in the party and I just like hit it, and people have been inviting me, and I'm like, I can't do it. But yeah, that's been my weekend. Well, I feel like I don't know what's going on with you. What's going on with you? What have you been doing?
There's not much going on. I watched a bunch of TV and movies this weekend.
Yeah.
Didn't really do anything 4th of July related. I don't know if you did, but
I went to King.
I was like, meh.
I started looking because I like to sample fireworks and try different ones. And I've never been to the downtown one in Cincinnati. But then I found out the Kings Island had some kind of 4th of July extravaganza. So I got season passes there and I got free food there. So we decided to do that. Kind of disappointing.
Really?
Well, they do fireworks every fucking night.
Okay.
So this felt like a twice as long version of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, I had this douchebag 3 feet from my ear on his cell phone. We're at the Sidewinder. We're watching the Sidewinder. No, I'll talk to you when you get. Just like for 5 minutes, that was the conversation, and I'm like, "Do you not know texting?" And then me and Cecil like, as soon as these people get here, we're going to have to endure 5 minutes of. I tried to tell you this. I couldn't. And sure enough, these fucking people show up and they rehash the whole thing. And I should get some kind of medal for not killing them. But no, yeah, that's what I did for the 4th of July. Disappointing. Next year, I'll do the downtown shit.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess, it's like when you have pizza every day, an extra delicious double-sized pizza doesn't really cut it, right?
Yeah. If it's like I give you pepperoni pizza every week.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Hey, I got a pizza extravaganza. Today you get 2 pieces.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. May I have a third?
Yeah. It's like, whatever.
But fireworks are cool.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. Just don't put them on your head and try to launch them and kill yourself.
And then, in our neighborhood, people were lighting fireworks like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah. I have no problem with that. So I think there's a cutoff date though, right? Like, okay, I understand you bought too many fireworks. Yeah. You got a little over ambitious when you were shopping.
Yep.
You got stars in your eyes.
Yep.
And you went for the gusto.
Yep.
I think you got a week to shoot those off.
I
think you have 1 week. The next weekend, okay, you can shoot them off. But that Monday, forget about it. You're done with fireworks for a year.
See, I helped my sister move. That was the other thing. I was so busy this weekend. And we had this big debate about it because she's of the opinion that fireworks should shut off at midnight on 4th of July.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I get it because you have kids and dogs, but how can you be such a big bitch about something that happens essentially a couple days of the year?
Yeah.
Like, you got to let people.
It's a celebration.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I don't know. I'm down for a whole week. A week of fireworks.
I can't wait till I get my own place with some property again because I would like to get into. I started to in Greenfield get into the big canister launch shells.
Yeah,
they don't even call them they're shells now.
Like professional fireworks.
Yeah, like stuff. A step below that.
Like where you have to put them on a launcher.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
You have to. They're like mortar launcher deals.
Yeah.
Light it and. I don't know. I had a couple friends that actually did that they were firefighters, and for extra income on the side, they were pyrotechnics, and they would you get bank, man.
What qualifies a firefighter to be a pyrotechnic?
Well, I think it's obvious you can
that they can put out any damage they cause.
You can deal with any bullshit that happens from your show. It's like
I feel like you want someone who knows how to prevent the bullshit, it's not deal with it.
If you go to a Japanese restaurant and you order blowfish. It would be nice if the chef was also an EMT. So if you go into anaphylactic shock, he can help you. You don't want him like, oh God, what have I done? You want him to be like, I know this, tracheotomy tube, and you're good. But yeah, there's $15,000 for a couple $1,000s worth of equipment and a couple hours of prep time. Like it's big money to put on a fireworks show.
Oh, that's what you get paid.
Yeah, okay.
So it's also extra income for these firefighters.
Yeah, at my present income level, like 5 or 6 shows, would have me essentially set for the year. But yeah, so what did you consume media wise?
A couple of things. I watched through most of Sense8.
What did you think of that?
I think it's genius.
Really?
I don't think it's like the perfect show by any means. I think culturally it's genius.
Huh.
The stuff that it does, like, I don't know. It introduces you to a lot of concepts that television doesn't cover. Hardly ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a transgender woman in there.
Mm.
There are like all different cultures in there, like Indian, Asian, white, black, all of it. There are gay people, there are straight people, and it's all kind of like it revolves around the idea of these people are connected by their senses, these 7 people, and all of them are, you know, ethnically, racially, sexually diverse, right?
What? So they're all connected, like in like that one of them gets slapped, they all feel it kind of way.
Not exactly.
Or is it like a round robin? Like this guy tastes what this girl's eating, who hears what this guy's.
It's nothing so linear. It's more of like when it's convenient for the story, like, or when it's super inconvenient for a character, right? Like
whatever's the most dramatically interesting possible.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's all it's really interesting. The whole idea of it feels to me very much like, kind of everyone working together to be better than they would be individually. So it's like it's got this kind of cool community message, and just, you know, peace, love, understanding that whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the way that it portrays like sex between all sorts of different people, like bi, gay, straight, transgender. With
how graphic is it?
It's not super graphic. There are tits.
Okay.
It's like not quite HBO level, I'd say. But
more than AMC, less than HBO.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But it intermingles the sex scenes in a way that's really interesting. Like you'll see, oh, there's these 2 lesbians going at it. I'm kind of into that. And then it'll show like these 2 gay dudes going at it. And then it'll show like a straight couple going at it. And like, and it cuts back and forth between them so that you're kind of like forced into this mishmash of things that you're both super interested and comfortable with and also not.
Turned out, yeah.
So it really makes you like sit there and consider, oh, why am I not okay with this part of it? Why am I super cool with this part of it? I don't know. I thought it was cool.
It seems like that. I mean, that fits in with what I know of Andy and Lana. I mean, Lana is a trans woman herself.
Sure.
So I think they would find it interesting and subversive to kind of do that thing.
And I think that's exactly what it is. And I think it's awesome for that. Like it's one of the most brilliant pieces of like social commentary, I guess, or social, I don't know. It's like a social,
but it also works as an entertainment too.
It does, but less so.
Oh, okay.
Like the show itself.
I was really excited about Sense8, and then I saw Jupiter Ascending like 2 weeks before it came out, and it almost totally killed my enthusiasm for the project because I'm like, wow, the bloom has really fallen off the Wachowski rose. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, because I've heard from a lot of net people now that it's pretty hot. I mean, from a from an interest level.
It is, yeah. I mean, even the core concept I think is interesting because, like I said, that they use it when it's most dramatically appropriate, and it's like,
how do they visualize that? I'm always interested in that.
You will see people acting similarly, I guess. Like they'll be in 2 different scenarios, but you get kind of the cut to where someone has said something in one place and then it transfers over to the other, and someone's like, what did you say? That's weird. And also, I don't know exactly the logistics. I was kind of half watching it at points, but it seems like one person can visit another, like all these 7 people who are connected. Out of them, one person visits another, and they are able to. It's kind of a one-way street. They're able to see and interact with things that are there, but the other person who they're visiting isn't able to interact with their place.
Yeah.
But they can still hear them and talk to them. So on one end of the thing, you've got 2 people who are physically there. And on the other end, you've got one person who's there who's talking and kind of looking crazy. And they play with that every once in a while too. But the thing that I think is really cool is like since they're all connected by their feelings, like their senses, they are able to do things kind of like in a Matrix where you get like a brain dump. Yeah. They're able to do things that their other counterparts can do. So like there's one woman who's a martial arts expert, right? And like every once in a while, it will be dramatically appropriate where a character who is not a martial arts expert gets into a situation where martial arts would really help them out. And so they'll be like, okay, crazy martial arts lady, I need your help right now. And it's not like they can talk to each other necessarily at all times. So they're kind of just hoping that during this situation, she'll step in. And sometimes she doesn't, sometimes she does.
So
I think it's pretty interesting.
Is it I should just watch the show because I'm gonna ask a whole bunch of stupid questions like how exactly does this shit work, and I just watch the show.
Know, man.
All right.
I don't feel like there's a lot of science behind it, but it has a very positive and cool message.
Let me check because I forgot I haven't checked the Q&A thing here.
Oh, that's right. We have Q&A.
You know,
there's nothing there.
I went back and watched. Yeah, if you have any Q's that you want A's for or comments, go ahead and feel free to make them. I went back and watched Matrix Reloaded this weekend because I was like super excited. I was super excited, and I'm gonna have to drive all night tomorrow night, so I've been slowly pushing my sleep schedule back later and later. And Iron Banner helped out with that too.
Okay.
But I was watching that, and I was kind of jones because I'm like, yeah, I just watched Matrix, and I'm really up on that. I was hyped from our conversation. That movie is way worse than I thought it was going to be. Like the stuff that I found really stupid and tedious, but overlooked because of the other aspects, like are almost insurmountable. Like I still like a lot of the fights. The standouts were like, you know, Neo versus Seraph, the highway fight, like you said, the Burly Brawl. But the special effects on like some of that Neo Smith stuff is rough, man.
Is that the one where he fights a billion Smiths?
Yes. Okay. And a lot of his like
rough,
flying and that stuff is just really like not even up to 5 years ago computer game standards.
It was all CG, man. It's like,
but that's the thing. Like the first movie didn't do that shit.
Right.
When it did CG, it was like, you know, liquid metal and robots and kind of things that you can do CG at that era. I mean, it's definitely groundbreaking, and the animation is still impressive. And like I got into some of the concepts of what they're doing. I couldn't get over this rubber-faced Neo fighting an army of rubber-faced Smiths. It really, you know, the stuff that's still real is still awesome. The stuff that's not real is not awesome. And I think
Merovingian stuff is really good.
Merovingian stuff is really cool. I actually think the speech that the Oracle gives Neo in this movie might be the best in all the movies.
Is this the one on the park bench?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And she's talking about how you can. I thought the whole like. I've grown a lot in my understanding of philosophy and modern neural science since I first saw this movie, and a lot of stuff she's saying about you didn't come here to make a decision, you came here to understand the decision you've already made. Really jives with a lot of modern research into like how our brains actually work. And I thought I was watching from that and like, oh yeah, this is really interesting stuff. And I still think the architect stuff is really interesting at the end. It's just there's a lot of really bad CGI. It like the first movie we thought aged like a champ. This thing's aged like, I don't know, Rocky Balboa trying to get back in the ring. In the late, it's like not good. Not good. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer.
Oh well. I also watched John Wick. If we want to just keep this,
keep the Keanu train rolling, man.
Train rolling.
I would not mind that at all. I've been on you to watch this movie for months.
Yeah, I don't really watch movies until they hit HBO or something. You know, like every once in a while, if there's a big blockbuster I need to see.
Like Wick was on. That's because I saw it and I didn't. I'm not a big pirater, as you know, and I think I saw it legit. Maybe it was on Netflix.
Might have been,
or maybe I just rented it off Amazon. But anyway, what did you think? Maybe are we going to have any spoilers?
Yeah, I mean there'll be spoilers. Okay. There's not much to spoil in this movie. It's a badass action flick.
It is. It's very much in the main. It might have even been the first of its type, and I think Mad Max is similar, where it's essentially one long action scene.
Yeah, there's no setup. I'm sorry, there's setup and then there's nothing else. Yeah. Right? Like we need a reason for this guy to be angry. Okay, there's the reason. Now go be angry.
Yeah. And the reason I thought, like, when someone the reason that he goes on this revenge flick is because someone killed his dog, which
it's true.
The face of it, when you hear it, it's like, that's kind of awesome, but it's also almost like a Reddit plot, like a writing prompt plot.
Yeah.
But when you actually see it, it's surprisingly well done and has a lot of emotional impact.
I agree. Yeah, I liked it a lot. We were talking earlier about, you know, the interesting stuff with the Continental. That the whole underworld kind of vibe that it has. Yeah.
Because that's always been my thing about criminal enterprises is absent the protection of any laws or rules. It's not even survival of the fittest. It's survival of whoever takes the appropriate risk at the appropriate time with the strength to pull it off. So it's kind of like every day is an MMA prize fight. You might have your favorites and your underdogs, but anybody can win at any given time. And that, to a certain point, is too destable to build anything of any I mean, I think that's eventually why you go away from warlords and feudalism to ever progressive, more organized forms of government, because to get shit done, you have to have that. And I thought it was interesting that like you can see the criminal world starting to form almost a form of government analogous to the stuff in the real world. Yeah,
they're calling truces at this hotel, and you know, everybody's got to have a place to relax.
Sure. And to talk,
even assassins,
like, to engage in diplomacy, or it's just going to be bloodshed all the time, which is, you know, as the Godfather says, is not profitable. Yeah, but then, you know, all of that is shattered by this bounty hunter or assassin. Yeah. That's trying to get this $4 million the Boba Yaga paycheck. That was the boogeyman, essentially. Oh no, I'm talking about the woman who's trying to you know, who's going into the Continental, breaking all the rules. I mean, all it takes is one person to break those rules, right? And then nobody feels safe there anymore. Right. So you could kind of argue that that's destroyed by the end of the movie. Right. Yeah, it's, you know, that's why the criminal life is one that, I mean, he even talks about it in the movie. You know, it's a virus. It gets into you, it gets into your family and your friends and anyone around you, and it doesn't let go. You know, Keanu Reeves is really good at like the gunplay, kung fu type stuff, and some of the shootouts in this movie. There's a thread on our forums right now. What's the best shootout? And that movie got a lot of mention because, like, I can remember the one at the bar. I don't think it's at the Continental. I think it's at the bar that whatever the Russian family controls is exceptionally impressive. Yeah, I mean, even the stuff in his home at the beginning is really super impressive. That was the other thing. Like, they have a cleaning service. Oh, yeah. Like, if you're like a hitman and you go and make a mess, like, you can call and, you know, it's like, I got a dinner party for 12, and they just show up and take care of it. Yeah. And there's like, that was cool. What was their currency? Like, it's Nazi gold or something? Yeah, doubloons. I don't even know. It's like, golden coins. It's essentially, I got the impression that it's essentially favors. Like, it has no, the monetary value of the gold is not what's worth it. What's worth it is the credit that you have gained from this person that you can then exchange for some services you need later at a later time. So they could be plastic. They don't even have to have any monetary value. You know, with it being a crime, why not have it be 24 karat solid gold shit? Plenty of gold roaming around the underworld. Yeah. Is that so? That's what he buys his car with, right? Not his first car that gets stolen. The second, I think it's still a Mustang, though a newer Mustang. The one that he goes to buy after his car is stolen, so he can go on his revenge spree. Because he takes several of those coins with him. And I think one went to the Continental, and then I think the others went to buy the car. Why did I think that? I guess I thought that there was like some kind of universal underworld currency, but you're making it seem like it was just, and it's been a couple months since I've seen it. It might be that I guess it could just be that, that's worth a lot of money and you can exchange it for cash, and it's just kind of a more or less liquid way of moving money around without it having any kind of transaction. But it could also be that he went to the underworld to purchase that car. Didn't someone pay him in that coin though too? That's what I felt I think like. So. Okay. Several people had those coins, right? It wasn't just him. Okay. That's why I thought it's like that is the dollar. That's the $100 bill in the underworld or whatever. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Okay. I think those are like, they buy you favors. I hear that they're working on a sequel. Okay. It might be a bad idea. He did get a new dog at the end of it. It's going to be two dogs. It's a dog. It's a puppy and a kitten. They'll be murdered in the opening scenes of this one. I feel like that's a mistake. Like, I would like to see Keanu Reeves do something like this again. The whole making like why don't they have anthologies of action films? Like, it's the same cast and crew that we like. It's called Jason Statham's career. I mean, really. But just embrace that, right? Yeah, like, Keanu Reeves does this thing really, really good. I don't need a John Wick 2. I don't need a Jack Reacher 2. I just need, you know, Tom Cruise doing this thing, and I need Keanu Reeves doing this thing with a totally, you know, it's like I feel like that's where you get the contrivances. Like, just start off with a clean slate. We want all the same beats and all the action. Yeah. All we want is motive and revenge. Like, that's starting to hold back the Fast and Furious franchise, honestly. Really? Like, getting to like making sense of all the set pieces they want to get to with all the history these characters have is starting to get dumb, and it's making the movies overly long because they have to get them to those situations where if like John Wick was just super efficient. Guy's dog gets murdered.
Yeah.
This guy's a total fucking douchebag. He goes to war. War's concluded. Done. You're out.
Yeah.
So
he accomplished his mission much sooner than I expected during this movie.
Really?
Yeah, he gets sucked back in. You know, it's the underworld after all.
Yeah.
Crime, but
I'm struggling to remember. I thought that was kind of like, well,
Alfie Allen.
Yeah.
That's his mission, right?
Yeah. But also the dad getting mixed, you know, it seems like the dad should have cut Theon loose. Like that would have, John Wick would have killed one man and that would have been the end of it.
Yes, but it's his son.
But on the other hand, it's like this, almost like in a, like some of those really Asian films where it's like it's almost a Greek tragedy that like everyone's going to die and everyone knows they're all going to die, but they got to go through the motions anyway. I thought that was interesting. Like in the very early phase, like when the father realizes what happens, he's like, well, this is what's going to happen. And probably all of us are going to die, but you're my son. What are you going to do?
Gotcha.
But like, I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't have a problem with any of the plot. I was just like, I'm surprised.
No, I guess I didn't either. You have to protect your son, even though he's a terrible human being.
You would think so.
I guess he's a terrible human being too. This is kind of like the Liam Neeson. This is also going on in Taken. Like progressively different generations of this family goes to try to knock old Liam off the block, and they can't do it. Like just cut your losses, man. You lost a kid.
Taken 4, they take his parakeet, and it's bad news.
All right, let's get to some Q&A. She is Geeky says, I have enjoyed your Game of Thrones playthrough. After I'd played episode 1, if you ask Marjorie for help, she comes back from talking with Joff and her dress is torn and she isn't happy with Mira. And if you ask her for her help after that, she reminds you of how badly it went. Well, our strategy of, I don't even know what our strategy with her is.
With Marjorie, yeah, our strategy was to accidentally befriend her, like to try to ignore and neglect her, but then become her friend anyway.
We're playing hard to get. So yeah. That's pretty dark though.
Try to convince her to do things that are most likely going to get her killed.
Yeah. But it has a side effect, it seems like, and I think the reason people like it is that we take the less traveled path. Like statistically, every single playthrough, it's very rare for us to be on the sweet side of how many, because it tells you how many people made each decision.
Yeah, and that's kind of
we get down to single digits on some of that stuff.
We get kind of like 4 or 7% on one of them. It's pretty amazing.
So that means like only 7% of the gaming population has actually seen that tree. Not that that's the thing about these Telltale games. It's not like blow your hair back. Oh my God, we just massively changed the landscape of the universe. Yeah. But it does, like stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of the bad guy series, right?
Yeah.
Bad guy Lee, bad guy Clem, bad guy Forrester, whatever we're doing here.
Yeah, we play as if our characters are sociopaths.
Yeah. That
just live life in the moment.
Yes, comes very naturally to us.
Not a bad way to go about it. Oh yeah, we can talk about it. Spencer Hockenberry says Dredd with Carl Urban is another great movie in the John Wick vein.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, Dredd's amazing.
Dredd is so much better than it had any right to be. And I actually was a fan of the old Sylvester Stallone version. Like,
man, I don't even remember.
Who is the Adam Sandler lackey? He's this little
Rob Schneider.
Like if you try to imagine that movie, that Rob Schneider, and it just is so much better. It's kind of like the same thing, the Richard Donner Superman. It's like, imagine if you didn't have Otis. Like that movie would be so much better. Why? Yeah. Why do we need a comic, just a broadly comic relief character shoehorned into these plots? It's terrible.
I don't know. They love to do it though.
I mean, sometimes it works. Like I feel like every once in a while it lands and everybody loves it when it happens, and then everybody decides to shoehorn it in when you don't have the talent. Like if you got Eddie Murphy as a comic sidekick, it's probably going to work.
Or like I'm thinking Last Stand with Arnold and Jackass guy.
Yeah, he's actually decent in it too.
He's okay. Yeah, he's better than I thought he would be. We'll say that.
But
because I don't like him, Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
I don't like him at all.
You can either go sheer talent like an Eddie Murphy, or you can go with like understanding that the audience is going to hate this guy, so we're going to play into that. and maybe subverted at the end to give them their crowning moment of awesome. I don't know. But yeah, big fan of Dredd. I love the slow time effect that they use when you take. I forget what that drug's name is.
I don't remember either.
But there's the creative torture where they just like throw people off of a building.
Yeah, that scene specifically.
Right before they get them high on that stuff, so that moment just lasts forever. Is brilliant. Is really really cool.
I agree.
Well, I don't know. It's I don't know if it's brilliant, but it's sadistic and pretty awesome. Anthony B says, have either of you tried a Making of the Mob yet? I started to get exciting, but then people on the forum are like skewering it.
What the fuck is this?
So this is the real, all the heavy hitters from Boardwalk Empire.
Okay.
Your Lucky Lucianos, your other guy, and the other guy too.
All the other guys.
I'm on the spot. I can't think of them. It's essentially that story, like that full story of how they actually in real life rose to power. It's on AMC.
Okay. Yeah.
But everyone says it's terrible. What did you think of it, Anthony? Because maybe you can be the guy that tells me that I should actually really watch it. And don't just say I should really watch it. That's not going to get it done. I need like what I can hang my hat on at the series. Or I don't know. Like with I used to, like, if someone would tell me this is going to start off and it's going to be terrible for like 5 episodes or even for an entire first season, but then it's going to get amazing going on. That would be, nowadays that's hard for me to get up for. Like I don't know that I would take on a Justified at this point in my career, because I would be like halfway through the first season. I'm like, I guess this is cool. It's kind of neat, but because there's so much to watch all the damn time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there is. I mean, the more and more TV is just coming out that's good, and you drown in it. We've talked about that before.
Spencer H is talking about Dredd. He says the drug's called Slo-Mo. I did the math, and it would have been equivalent of falling for 15 minutes if you got thrown off at the top of the building.
Huh.
He did the math. He did the math.
Fall. I wonder if you feel like you're falling.
Well, the other thing is,
Slo-Mo.
Before they did that, didn't they peel the guy's face off?
So probably,
because that's the thing. Like,
I remember
throwing that was like the cherry on top of the awful torture Sunday.
Yeah,
like slowing down time for getting your face peeled off that's some Ramsey Bolton type shit.
Yeah, that's no good. I just wonder, like, what the sensation is. Does it dull your senses? Does it heighten your senses? Does it? I mean, what's going on with your biochemistry?
It'd have to heighten your senses, right? If you can slow down time and really experience everything, because
unless it dulls your senses, like alcohol or
well, would that be kind of more horrific if you're like totally detached from the situation? Like, your face is being peeled off, but you can't feel it.
No,
it's kind of like
I think it'd be worse if you could feel your face.
Said about that Mexican cartel where they duct tape you so you can't move, and then they put a mirror in front of you, and then they peel your face off so you get to watch it. Aha. Yeah,
that's worse because you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I think it'd be worse if your senses were heightened. You were feeling pain more truly and understanding what's happening to you.
Yeah.
In more gruesome detail.
After Dredd came out, the next free comic book day, I noticed that they had a Dredd miniseries or whatever, that like 3000 AD comics, whatever the line is that does Judge Dredd. They had a collection of their stories. That Dredd stuff is fucked up. Like it is, but it's also really funny. Like just how not a shit that Dredd gives about anything. Like his uncompromising view of the law and justice is kind of funny in a certain way, but it's also a lot of horrific brutality.
Just a black and white view of everything.
Yeah, like he'll level a whole city block
to catch one criminal.
But then, like, there's one story where one of his recruits was it's like the last step before you become a judge is that you shadow. You're like, you kind of like in the movie, that one girl was like, he was giving her his pass-fail examination. This is the final step, and he was the examiner for this guy. And they apprehended a guy, and they had him in cuffs, and the guy gave the judge in training some guff, and the judge punched him in the face. And Dredd not only failed him, but put him in prison for abuse of power because the guy was in custody, and you can't rough up people in custody.
Wow. Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think a little inward justice is good for a police department.
But I just watched him destroy a city block to bring a renegade Destructicon machine into justice.
Yeah.
So, but technically, I guess all that use of force was warranted. That's the kind of thing that's interesting about it. And the artwork is just like people getting their faces melted off and all kinds of shit.
Are you familiar with the movie Limitless? It's the one where...
It sounds familiar.
It's the one where what's his face, and you'd recognize his face if you saw it. Takes drugs to make him smarter. I think if you combine Slo-Mo and that drug and threw someone off a building, it would be the ultimate horrifying concoction. Like the worst combo possible. Like, I am super smart. I understand exactly what is happening to me and exactly my fate. And it's all happening for a very long time.
See, that's interesting because I used to play this role-playing game called Riffs, and there was a certain class of character called, I believe it was a juicer, or maybe it was a glitter boy. I think it was a juicer, where that's exactly, they pumped you full of a chemical that slowed down your perception of time, but also greatly increased your reflexes and strength. Okay. And the thing is, your lifespan is like you die at like a 24-year-old juicer is a ancient juicer, so it feels like
you're living a full life, but
you well, I think it's just that your body just gets used up, like literally it destroys your joints, your muscles, and your brain. But but you are incredible in combat and things like that, so it's like it reminds me of that. But yeah, I guess I never followed the logical conclusion that if you tortured a juicer, it would be a horrific experience for them.
I think so, yeah.
Well, I hope he never gets out of custody because he'd fuck you up,
peel his face off and throw him off a building.
All right, Anthony B says he was one of the ones skewering it in the forums, but it's gotten interesting. This Married to the Mob or Birth of the Mob.
Yeah, Making of the Mob.
Making of the Mob thing. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's a tough. Like right now, Penny Dreadful just finished up last night. I haven't seen it yet, but that's rotating off of my weekly watch schedule. I'm halfway through Orange is the New Black. I'm actually mainlining Mad Men right now.
Yeah.
To get, because we've fallen way far behind on this Mad Men recap. So I don't know, maybe, because I'm interested in the subject. I'm interested in the subject a lot. But if it's like the first 4 or 5 episodes are terrible, even if the first 2 are terrible, it's probably not. I mean, everyone's saying that the new season of *Halt and Catch Fire* is pretty amazing. But I watched the first 6 episodes and it didn't.
Is that out yet?
So yeah, it's been out. It's been out. Didn't you
Season
watch?
2?
Yes. It's been. They're like 6 episodes in now. Conversely, Seppenwall just wrote an article about Hannibal saying, like, what the hell's happened to Hannibal? Like, its first 2 episodes were amazing this season, and then it's just like falling off a cliff. But
yeah, I never got into Hannibal. I'm gonna have to catch up on *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Yeah. I mean, my buddy Daniel says it's pretty amazing, but
yeah, I thought the first season got a lot better toward the end.
That's what everybody says too.
Yeah.
But
or maybe I just got used to Joe's crazy antics. I don't know.
I will say that I thought this season, I still got the finale, which I'm with child to see. I'll probably see it tonight, of Penny Dreadful. But this season 2 of Penny Dreadful has been incredible. Even there was one plot line that I was super annoyed with. And I'm like, God, if I see this character on the screen, I'm going to shoot myself in the face. And they brought it around like in this really epic way, like 2 episodes ago. And now I'm like, okay, I'm all in on even this thing that I fucking hate. It'd be like if they turned Lori Grimes around and made her completely awesome. Okay,
they didn't make her awesome at the end. Oh, speaking of which, I saw her in another movie, and I thought she was really good.
And I don't have nothing against Sarah Wayne Calliet. I mean, she brought it.
It was just like the stark difference between how really terrible writing can destroy an actor's performance.
Yeah, and direction.
And and the performance she gave in this movie, and I can't remember, it was some tornado chasing movie.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it though.
It's not the one that's got Mueller or Mueller. It's not the guy from the guy from Boardwalk Empire. He played General Zod in Superman. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Was he in it? Because I thought that she played his wife.
I don't think so.
In
no, this wasn't anybody.
She wasn't anybody's film that came out about 5 years ago. Okay.
No, I'll look it up while we're talking. But yeah, I thought she was really good in it, and happy to see that because I'd never seen her in anything else, you know?
Yeah. All right. And then I think that's it. We got to do a commissioned podcast this afternoon.
It's called Into the Storm.
Into the Storm. That's it.
That's it?
It has that guy in it, right?
It has Richard Armitage. It has Matt Walsh. I don't know.
What the hell is the movie I'm thinking of?
It has Jeremy Sumpter.
See, I'd have to go to Boardwalk Empire, find the guy that plays General Zod, or go to Superman, then back his way. But I thought that was what it was called too.
I don't think so.
Well, I might be misremembering the two movies together. But I think I've seen both either way, and yeah, she's good. And like I said, I think all the acting talent across the board, for the most part, in The Walking Dead is really good. It's the writing and direction, and
I agree. Yeah.
And that shows you like what kind of a symphony you need to be. I mean, look at the first Star Wars. Look at Harrison Ford in the first Star Wars, and then look at him in Indiana Jones and Empire Strikes Back, where you have a competent actor, you know, an actor-friendly director working with him.
You know, I think Harrison Ford pulled off Star Wars.
Yes, but by sheer charisma.
Yeah.
Then you see
he can say a stupid line and give you a smile, and you'll go, all right, Han Solo, fine. You can say that.
But when the writing and direction is actually not holding him down and he can fly, that's what, you know, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure. All right. That's lunch for this week. We will not be back on this Friday because I will be in an island in the middle of Lake Michigan. But we'll be back as regular scheduled the week after.
Yep.
So yeah, thanks for your support and have a great week. Hope your Monday's not too bad. Michael Shannon's the guy I'm talking about. Thanks for the assist there, Fracken. You guys have a great week. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.